Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to day 2. Obstacle Racing Media's live coverage of Hildervat. The men's and women's finals coming up shortly at 9 o'clock, followed at 10 o'clock by the team relay. The teams are yet to be determined. We'll give you the details on that when it happens. But I want to give you just a quick update of yesterday's event. So we have in front of us a finale with some names that are both unexpected and maybe a little unexpected. Veejay Jones and Ryan Atkins, no shock, are in the finale for the men. Right? Great finale. This is the competition everybody loves to see. These are the two names that I think everybody loves to see compete against each other. You got the young buck and Veejay Jones, young, fast, up and coming. You've got Ryan Atkins, been in the game for a long time, and certainly never one to count against. For the women, possibly a little bit of surprise here, so let's talk about what happened yesterday. Nicole Miracle in the semifinals had a commanding lead through the final lap, coming off one of the rigs. Unfortunately, suffered an injury, and as Matt reported on Instagram this morning, sounds like she suffered a torn ACL and may require surgery for the fix. So that left a gap for Lindsey Webster to fill when she was in third place, so she came into the finals in second place here, and we'll be taking on Rebecca Hammond. So as you all know, this one's for the big money, right? This is $5,000 on the line for first place, and second place will get $2,000, and then the other placements have already been met here. So $1,000 for third, $500 for fourth, and a couple $100 for fifth and sixth place. And then the team relay will take in $2,000 when that happens this afternoon. Let's bring in the old man on the streets here, Matt B. Davis. Got his dunks. Matt, you should probably unmute if you want to talk to everybody.
Good morning, everybody. I do not have my dunks. Josh, I have my cup of Job, which is the unofficial breakfast and brunch and sort of beach office for Obstacle Racing Media. Cup of Job right behind us. Literally, we grab coffee, we grab bites. We'll probably head there between the pro and Team Wave. But Josh, I'm excited. It's the final day. The big money is on the line. Hard to not think about our friend Nicole, who you mentioned. Very disappointing what happened to her. She seems in really good spirits, and we'll hope to get a longer interview with her soon. Josh, I want to say in terms of racing that I would have predicted Veejay like right away. I would have said, you know what? It's short, it's fast, it's Veejay. Okay. Yep. However, if you heard his interview with me yesterday, I got to say, I don't agree with his strategy. He said he was going to try to keep up with Atkins and then hope he can hang on. And I think, well, you're faster than Atkins. You should run your race because Atkins knows how to outsmart you.
Yeah, I think we got a bit of brutal honesty from Veejay yesterday, which like we said at the time, was very refreshing. Right? It's good to hear these athletes knowing what they're capable of, also knowing their competition. But I think Veejay knows what he can do, and I would trust him to know how much he can put out there at the beginning of the race. I think what the biggest difference is it sounded like Veejay thinks he was going to get a lead and then just try and survive it. But Atkins is smart. Is Atkins going to let Veejay get a lead, or is he going to rein him in and keep him within kind of, attack distance?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If I'm Atkins and Veejay lets me lead, then then he's in my head, right? Like, well, why is he letting me lead, right? Maybe Atkins can't be rattled that way. I don't know. But let's talk about the women. We thought we were going to see, many thought Nicole Lindsay or Nicole Rebecca. Obviously, we've got Rebecca Lindsay, and Lindsay, grooved into her spot on both races, yes?
Yeah, no, I think, she said she had a pretty, unacceptable second race, right? Her semifinal, she came off of a rig once or twice, it sounded like, and she sort of resigned herself to third place. And then we learned pretty quickly that never resign yourself to any position, right? Because anything can happen even up until the last few moments of the race. So Rebecca, on the other hand, smooth and fast running, and even smoother and faster on obstacles. And I think in a race like this, where they are repeating rigs and going through obstacles multiple times in a short course, this is one of those situations where we truly can see obstacles and obstacle proficiency differentiating yourself between running speed. So
Can you pop up Aaron's comment there? Aaron knows these races pretty well. Former obstacle racer, now retired. Aaron Newell.
I don't know that he's actually retired. Might be just taking a little time off, but I'll tell you, in the chat, we have a handful of professional athletes here. We've got Aaron. We've got Leon watching from across the pond. I'm pretty sure I saw Brenna Calvert in there. We've got a pretty good audience, well over 100 folks already watching to be kicking off here in a couple seconds. All right, Aaron does say he's super retired, but the note here is Aaron says, sounds like Johnny Luna Lime talking himself out of world championship contention in 2019.
I mean, here's the thing. I just not to beat a dead horse, but Josh, what did I say when Ryan won the sprint a year ago or 2 years ago? What did I say? I said I'm never betting against these two again. Doesn't matter who's right. I said that. Yet here we are. And again, look at Savage, right? Behind the last half of the race, whatever it was. Woodsy was about to win, and Ryan Woods, yes, Atkins can't make Woods miss, but Atkins finds a way to win. It's what champions do, Josh. It's what they do. So I think you'll be kicking yourself either way with this race, right? Why did I bet against Atkins? Oh, well, why did I bet on Atkins, Veejay? Like, you're going to kick yourself either way, but I'm excited for a good race.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we compare the sport to golf, which is the weirdest thing to compare it to.
We do?
Well, at least I do, right? If I'm gonna handicap a golf tournament and the Masters is coming up, who am I picking? It's silly for me not to pick Tiger, but Tiger almost doesn't always win. So
right.
He wins a lot, but he doesn't win the majority of the time. And it's the same with Atkins here, right? You think about Aaron's comment again. He'd bet on Atkins for a 3-race weekend, and he's the best with strategy. That's what I think. When I think running on the sand, right, and the sand there is pretty torn up today, I think you need strong legs, you need driving power. Look at me. I'm talking about athletes, skills, like I'm Jack Bauer. And I think Ryan Atkins, right? Who can do that better than anybody? Who can drive through crappy terrain better than anybody? And who can recover from a race like yesterday? That's Ryan Atkins for me.
Nick F., the worst Nick, just had a great comment. Just when you think you hate Nick F., he comes back with a funny comment.
Well, I'm excited to see this one kick off today. Are we on time for a 9 a.m. start, Matt?
I've got 8:54. Looks like Mike is picking up the microphone. Tam, everyone loves Tam. Sounds like we're on time. So I think I'm gonna be our. I think I'll be our start line guy. So I'm gonna head over here, Josh.
You'll be the start line guy. We got the superstar crew of Mr. Garcia and Nicholas Riker, who were hunting down the lead pack yesterday.
On this 1 mile, Cleveland course.
Let me turn this camera around, buddy.
Battle at the beach.
Battle at the beach.
Each of our athletes ran the course 2 times yesterday to advance. We went from 6 athletes to 2. $5,000 is on the line for our top.
Josh, what are you seeing?
Overall,
seeing the black screen from you.
That's weird.
Our women will go at 9 a.m.
There we go.
Men will go at 9:30.
There we go.
How about this beautiful weather here at Jacksonville Beach? We have our expo and festival area just up the boardwalk, where you'll see some of our partners and sponsors. Great big thank you to Riverbend CBD.
Josh, it looks like
Well, I add everybody to the
it looks like Lindsay has done a pre-race soak. It looks like she just came out of the ocean to keep that heat off.
Well, we saw that yesterday from Atkins, right? Atkins covering himself in water. We need the Mad Wizard Ian back on again, but I know it's early for him. But talking about evaporative cooling was the key phrase from yesterday, and I've seen Lindsay do that before. I remember one of the first races I was kind of following the pros was back in Palmerton, 2017 maybe, NBC race, and I saw Lindsay taking a cold bottle of water and pouring it over her quads right before the race. I'm like, what the heck is she doing? And that's it. Staying cool, keeping your body temps down.
Just heard the word, Josh. Media team needs a few minutes, so we're gonna have a 5-minute delayed start. So while you're doing that, I'll just do some shots here. We see Ryan Woods coming down. We see here comes Rebecca. Rebecca does not quite look ready to race, so I don't know what she was thinking here. The race is supposed to start in 3 minutes, so I guess she doesn't need a lot of warm-up time.
Perhaps she's done her warm-up.
But maybe they should tell the racers there's a 5-minute delay. How about this very peaceful shot, Josh?
Look at that beach. Did somebody build a sandcastle there in the middle of the course?
I'm just going to check out your moment of zen here. That's some zen, Josh.
So are those guys doing a little morning yoga? Is that what that is?
I don't know if it's called yoga. Perhaps it's Tai Chi. Perhaps it's another form. Who is Nick the driver or Spanky the driver? He said he's back. I don't remember ever meeting him, but okay.
He was here yesterday, at least in the comments. I don't know if he was on site yesterday. Aaron asks, when do they throw an axe? Well, Aaron, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, they've taken the axe throw out of the professional waves. The elite and open waves yesterday were throwing the axe, but we will not see them from the pros. So if you would like to just take a quick look at the old map.
Pretty harsh elements, and we had one of our top pros yesterday. She led.
Let me mute Matt for a second here. So if we take a look at the map, again, it's a looped course, and the athletes will be taking on Kempson's rig very early on. It's obstacle number 3, over a couple walls, up a rope climb. Then they run out to the bucket carry. Along that run, they've got a low crawl. They run out to the bucket carry, which is about half a mile out from the main section of the course. They come back. They complete a second rig. Then they do a herc hoist, which is just a very low herc hoist. They skip the axe throw. It is on the map, but it's not in the pro wave. And after 3 loops of that course, they finish with a final rig, which is very similar, as we saw yesterday, to Bone Frog's toilet paper handle rig. So we'll make sure we bring you all the coverage. We've got athletes posed to hunt down the runners. We got them at the rigs. And I want to just begin by saying, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We got almost 200 of you on the live stream here, so appreciate that. And let me start it off by thanking Mario Torres for the $10 donation. Yesterday, you guys were incredibly generous. Your donations help us produce and put on more content like this and get out to more races and cover it. So anything that you can contribute, we certainly do appreciate. So Mario with the donation, Paul with a £10 donation. So much appreciated for you guys there. Maddie?
Hey, buddy. I'm here with one Javier Escobar. He is, in fact, shooting for the competition today. However, my love and our love for his is so strong. And look, do you know this is the original co-founder, Robson Racing Media, Christian Griffith himself, lives in Jacksonville Beach. He's here. This baby girl, he's out here to. They're going to bandit the race.
We've only ever heard rumors of Christian's existence.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He actually exists. People thought I was the cranky bastard for years, but it was in fact Christian. He's long gone from the OCR world, but he'll be forever in our hearts. Josh, let's be real. He's at least half the reason we're here today. He helped me launch this thing, many years ago, and yeah, even Brenna knows. Now if Brenna's on the feed today, that means we can a minimum 10 complaints. What do you think, Brenna? What are we gonna do today? Or is that only for Savage?
Before we get to Brenna's complaints, I just want to thank Lindsay Alec for the $5 donation. Thanks for the race coverage. Love it. Thanks for tuning in. Super appreciate it. We've got Nick Riker over on the rig. Hey Nick, if you get a moment, if you could wipe off your camera screen. I know you're working hard out there. You might have a little condensation from all that work.
How does that work?
It's not bad.
All right, give me a minute.
Where is Nick? Which rig is he at?
Same. I
He's
gotta
at-
drive all the
he's
way
at
back
rig
to
number
Nashville
2.
today. I'm not feeling that.
We got
Yeah.
Tam will be covering rigs number 1, which is the Kempson design rig, and that's right out of the gate. That's obstacle number 3. So we'll have the coverage for that one, and then she'll kick over and catch these guys.
We are having a Mac and Ryan Woods race across this rig right now. King of obstacles versus Woodsy.
Well, I would really love to see it, Nick, but I would also like you at the start line, getting ready to run with these racers.
Yeah, but this is cutting edge stuff, though.
Okay, one second.
It's time to introduce
Yeah, get yourself ready to run. Get down here, Nick.
competitors this morning. After a full day of racing today, they are back at it. First up,
I'm glad it's
in just her second year as a pro OCR athlete, having placed second in the Spartan World
You
Championship.
just be ready to run. I'll get the start. You just be ready to run.
E-Man Flo from the Discord at work, but we'll watch later. Thanks for the coverage, guys. Just leave it on while you're at work, my friend. Nobody will know. It's Sunday.
My bad. My bad, dude. So sorry. I didn't mean to.
I just want to thank Ryan Kempson for giving me some of the most entertaining 2 hours of my life last night.
You're very welcome.
The details we can't reveal, but I just want to say that a hoot and a holler.
We had a good time making fun of Matt.
All right, here we go. Start line's ready to go.
And it comes down to this 3 laps today. Athletes, on your mark. Athletes set.
So this is it. The women's final begins, and we've got Rebecca Hammond versus Lindsay. And these two are incredible runners, incredible athletes, obstacle proficient, and we're excited to see this one break down here. So the course is short and fast, 3 loops, 1 mile each on the loops, and then they'll finish with that final rig that we saw yesterday. But we've got Mike chasing down the women, taking possibly a cautious pace to begin up until Kempson's rig. So as we saw them get through the times yesterday, we've got their form and their methods through the rig are pretty set. We saw Lindsay miss the bell there just for a second, had to take an extra swing to get to it. But they jump onto that first rope, they spin around, grab the ring. But their confidence on the rig, I think, is all-time high here. So we've got Mike following Lindsay. We got Nick Reicha with Rebecca as she comes into the rope climb. With just a couple seconds lead, probably 6 to 8 seconds at most. And now after this, they enter the running section of the course, as it's been dubbed. And what they do essentially, puppy dog spotting, what they do is they run out to the bucket carry, which is, as I've been told, sounds like about an 800-meter run from the rope climb. And yesterday, they've been kicking out into the flatter part of the sand. So you'll see them here dodging the sandcastles that have been built yesterday. So Matt Silvio with a $19.99 donation. Appreciate that, my friend. Dan Saxby as well with $5. And Scott Knowles' buddy, Michael Robinson, $4.99 as well. Appreciate you guys with the support. Love to see it. So they've got the low crawl out here in the middle of this sprint that you'll catch there. So they have to essentially divert off of the flat section of the course, go do the low crawl, and then as you see Rebecca here, they almost immediately run right back to the flat section of the sand so they can get some better traction, some better running. Rebecca yesterday, as we noted, the only one who was wearing gaiters on her feet as well. Not sure if running in the sand was having that much of an issue. Thanks for that shot of the gaiters there, by the way. But Lindsay behind her, Rebecca's opened up a little bit of a gap here coming into the bucket carry. I know Lindsay is very well known for prowess with the bucket carry and being able to make up time on some of the athletes that are out there. But
yeah, and one thing we can count on is Peter telling us what we're doing wrong every 10 seconds. We appreciate that, Peter. Keep doing that. Every time we're showing something, ask us to share something else. We love that stuff.
So we've got a few seconds with the gap between the two. So
we had Nicole Miracle here cheering on Big Two, waiting for the girls to come through, but she's here to show her support with her knee brace on, some crutches. So she's here in good spirits.
Always good to see the athletes supporting each other. Who do we have at the bucket carry? Is it Emily here at the bucket?
We've got Emily at the bucket.
Yeah. So we've got Rebecca Hammond coming up to the bucket first. Stephanie with a $10 donation. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Almost 300 of you watching. So Rebecca taking the old bucket on the shoulder route here, and they run down to the water and then back. It's low tide currently at Jacksonville Beach, so there's no ocean wade.
What do we got there, Josh? 10-second gap, 12-second gap? What do we think?
Yeah, about 10 to 12 seconds at most. I think, weighing out this first lap, seeing how it feels, seeing how the legs are shaking out. Eric Richardson pointing out the bucket's not heavy enough or long enough to make any difference. And while there might be a little bit of truth in that statement, I think some athletes would love to see the longer bucket carry. I think some prefer the shorter one, but Lindsay's back out on course, so we'll be catching them up with our rabbits here in just a second as they run back towards the obstacle-heavy section of the course here as we get this great look at Jacksonville Beach. Beautiful Jacksonville Beach, Florida.
And this amazing comment by Chrissy.
I'm also here to complain. Great job, guys. Well, if you donate $10, you're welcome to throw at least one complaint in there if you want, as we see Rebecca running back to the obstacles here. And Nick Riker right alongside, keeping pace. That boy is putting in work, and he's not even racing. But in between races yesterday, decided they was going to hop in and just win the relay race. No big deal. Just another day for Nick Riker.
Josh, would you believe we actually put gimbals in the hands of the right people today?
It's amazing to see that I can actually comprehend that this is Rebecca on screen, and I'm not having to navigate through bumpy screens. Technology is a wonderful thing, folks, as we have Mike following Lindsay. And we can't see Rebecca from Lindsay's view just yet, so we'll try and keep a count on how far ahead she is. And Rebecca looks in the zone. Focused.
You want to see?
Elizabeth Dawes Kim, $20 donation. Love it.
Hey, can I get a quick comment? I got Ryan Kempson here. Now we're showing her leading, Rebecca leading by about 10 seconds. What do you think about that first lope here?
I think that's trouble for Lindsay.
Did you hear that?
I heard that. Trouble for Lindsay, according to Ryan Kempson.
They're coming back in now.
I can see him.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I have a camera here. I'm watching. Thank you, though.
well, I just heard Aaron just called it over the radio. That's why I was like, okay.
All right. Thank you, though. So do you think Lindsay, Ryan Kempson, do you think Lindsay never could keep up, or do you think she should have tried to keep her in sight this first lap?
I think based on other races, the way Becca and Nicole pulled away, if she didn't, it's not going to keep her in sight. Becca is clearly better on the obstacles. So if she is losing time on the run, she's going to lose a little more on the obstacles. So it might be trouble. You don't know. Lindsay's a monster, though. It's day 3, or race 3. People are tired. So maybe that wears Becca down, and maybe Lindsay's got the engine.
Yeah, so we saw Rebecca come in.
I can confirm. Sorry, Josh. I can confirm. Rebecca is very fast right now.
Thanks, Nick. We saw Rebecca come into that second rig, and just as we saw yesterday, cruising through, very smooth.
Kempson is going to stay with us today. We'll have him doing some commentary later, and also on the men's race. If you want to switch over to Matt B. Davis here. Oh, you got me already?
I got you, buddy. And I also got Anna Mullenkoff with a $20 donation, my friend. Appreciate that. So we got Rebecca finishing up her first lap as she comes over the vertical cargo net.
As she climbs the cargo net wall.
And we've got Lindsay, who just completed her rig and is now to the Herc hoist. These Herc hoists seem a little bit gritty. They're not lifting as smooth as they did yesterday. Now, by any means, it's not a very large Herc hoist. It's 1 or 2 poles to complete. But we've got a pretty significant lead after the first loop here from Rebecca. As these girls head out into lap 2 here. Lindsay coming up to the vertical cargo net to finish her first loop.
I got about 30 seconds by my watch, Josh.
30 seconds on the first lap. That is
to both starting the what do you call it? What do you call this? Vertical cargo. About a 30-second lead on lap number 1. If you want to go ahead and switch out to Becca there on rig number. Oh, you're already there. I'll shut up.
I got you, buddy.
I know you do, buddy. I was looking at. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Other than Peter. Sorry, Peter. You know I love you, buddy. I only listen. We poke fun of who we love. If you want to go ahead and put your picks, is this lead insurmountable, or will Lindsay, the most crowned champion in our sport, find a way to catch this gap?
Well, first I want to say, Gevel or G Evil 77. Thanks so much for the donation. Charlie Seymour asks, "Will we see the toilet paper rig?" That seemed to be the difference maker. And Charlie, we will see it. However, the toilet paper rig is outside of the 3 loops, so you only complete it once at the very end of the course. So we will see that toilet paper rig in 2 more laps as we see Rebecca Hammond out on course. And was that Nicole that was cheering her on? I couldn't tell. She went by so quickly. And then we've got Lindsay coming up from behind as she comes into the rope climb. Oh, was it Faye? Sorry. My audience here advises me that was Faye cheering on Rebecca. There you go. You guys are right on top of it. Aaron's on top of it. Molly's on top of it. That's what I thought, Nick. I didn't see crutches, so I didn't imagine it was her. But Lindsay's heading out, catching a quick dose of water as Rebecca comes into the low crawl. Rebecca takes a glance back over her shoulder to see where Lindsay is.
Man, does she look strong.
Strong and fast. She looks like she's pushing. Nick, if you can do some double or triple duty, let us know what your pace is on your watch if you got it. Try not to take down any sandcastles or anything like that.
My watch says right out of 6 flat.
So Rebecca running a 6 flat in the speedy section of the course. Dustin says, thanks for the footage. ORM with the $5 donation. Dustin, thanks for tuning in here, along with the over 300 other people that are watching the women's finals. Hildervat and Jacksonville Beach. And then behind Rebecca in second place for the finals here, we've got Lindsey Webster cruising down the beach. Benton saying he wants less gimbal coverage and more bounce because we all want to watch the shaky cameras. That's for sure. So if we kick over to Emily, we've got Matt. See if you can start a timer as she picks up the bucket here. We'll see
Okay, got it.
This lead has become.
All right, just started the watch. You're not on.
And as Rebecca goes through her second bucket carry, second of 3, Tyler Powers Wishing you made it to Jacksonville this weekend with a $20 sticker.
Do you want a time on the bucket, or you want time between the two runners?
I actually realized that I have a timer right here in front of me, so I have it as well. So they're going to cross each other here, and this is one of those moments where Lindsay's going to come in running. She's going to see Rebecca running out of the bucket, and Rebecca just tosses the bucket aside and is back into business here.
So I got 36 seconds if Lindsay's not even there yet.
Yeah, so this lead is grown as they cross, and Lindsay comes into her bucket here. So I've got 50 seconds right now, so almost a minute. Aristan, thanks for tuning in, my friend, with the $20 donation. Appreciate you.
What's MYR?
I don't know what MYR is.
Let us know. I got 102, Josh.
102, the difference on the second lap. So I would consider this almost the halfway mark of the race.
Please, nobody comment on my Strava segment that'll say 0.1 a minute and 15 seconds. I will erase it later.
Well, Rebecca's in cruise control, and again, not to talk about the race as if it's over, but we constantly talk about Rebecca leaving the sport or not racing anymore, and then she puts down performances like this when she shows up. And when you think about the kind of athlete she is, performing at OCR, performing at High Rocks, absolutely amazing. So
I got to say, I'm surprised, actually, Josh, because she looks pretty easy breezy between the obstacles. So I was surprised to see her working that hard with the gap she's got. But I guess she wants to leave nothing to chance. She's working hard on that out and back, huh?
Yeah, I think, if Lindsay's going to catch you, Rebecca, I think, is confident in her obstacle skills. So I think if there's going to be a spot where Lindsay digs in and catches you, I have to imagine it's going to be in the speedy part of the course. And while I think we know that, Rebecca is faster in terms of all-out sprint time and pace, that her obstacle proficiency makes her just as dangerous as well. So a couple other donations just to shout out before we get into the second rig here for Rebecca on her second lap. David with a $20 donation. Chris with a $5 donation. Appreciate you guys for the ORM safety fund. Love that. It is our number one priority. Aristan tells us MYR is Malaysia ringgit, about $4.99 US dollars. So that's the local currency of Malaysia, it sounds like.
I'm going to say that's the first Malaysian currency we've got, and I will mail you a sticker. If it costs me less than $20, I will mail you a sticker to Malaysia. If the postage is over 20, I will not do it.
So we got Rebecca coming back into the obstacle section of the course as she comes into this second rig here for the second time on her second lap. And just like every time we've seen before, it's smooth back and forth. She skips that final bar and cruises right through that obstacle and moves on over to the Herkhoist. And is through the Herkhoist without too much of an issue. So she'll loop back towards Mr. Davis. We've got Lindsay here back on the beach. Coming into the obstacle section here. About a minute behind at the bucket. And we'll see what that lead has become after the second half of the second running section here.
Lap number 2 completed. As soon as she gets over this cargo wall here.
So we got Rebecca coming over the cargo net. Lindsay still hasn't quite hit the rig. Coming up here in a second. As Rebecca goes over the top of the cargo net.
Her final lap. Well done. Go to Spartan race. Go to a sprint. Don't worry. That's what we're going to be doing in sprint. That's what we're going to be. I like
Little inadvertent slow-mo there.
Charlie, we believe it's called Thor's Hoist.
Thor's Pull is the official name of it, I believe.
So Thor's Pull. It's not Thor's Grundle. It's not Herkhoist. It's Thor's Pull.
So it's a minute and change, the difference between Rebecca and Lindsay coming through the obstacles there. Brad Barrett with a $10 donation. Thank you, my friend. As Rebecca heads out on her third and final lap. Grab her here as she takes on Kempson's rig for the third and final time today. And just like we see it last time, she grabs that horizontal rope, throws her legs on it, spins around, grabs the rig to the vertical rope, and she's through. She makes it look easy every time. It's like watching Phil Mickelson's golf swing. It's a thing of beauty.
Josh, and your golf things, I don't know if you know this, but Ryan Kent and I talked tennis for about 15 minutes in the last podcast.
Well, I can't think of anything less exciting than tennis talk now. As we see Lindsey Webster come up with the vertical cargo net.
Foot stuck.
Foot stuck.
You know why?
Because of the slack?
Best grip on the planet.
Or because of the best grip on the planet. It doesn't let go. All right, so Brenda Calvert's first complaint of the day. Head-to-head isn't as fun to watch live unless it's neck and neck. Takes me back to the first OCR WC short course. Wow, that was intense. Well, again, you never know, right? We saw Nicole with a hefty lead all day today. We got a bit of a woodsy spotting there, running alongside Rebecca Hammond and Nick Riker. So we never know what could happen. And Daryl Dorsey throwing $5 down because his daughter wants to see his name on TV. Well, you know what, Daryl? Not only is she going to see your name, she will hear it as well. So Daryl Dorsey Jr., thank you so much for the $5, and hello to your daughter. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, along with the 350 other folks that are tuning in watching the finale here. As we see Lindsay come up to Kempson's rig. That jump at the beginning, right? They commit to it. They're not even bothering to use that first vertical hold.
So I talked to Kempson about that yesterday at dinner. I said, why did you go full send round one? He said, it just makes the obstacle easier. It's not, he's like, I play basketball. I jump all the time. It's not a big deal to me. That because I was surprised by that.
Yeah. Aaron pointing out the only way Lindsay wins now is if Becca starts melting down on the rigs, which isn't likely, but did happen to Becca in Tahoe 2019, where she stood in front of Stairway to Heaven for 10 minutes. Well, on this third and final lap for Rebecca, she looks a little more fatigued than the first lap. So she's laying it down and putting out as much speed as she can here to afford herself some extra time. However, I have to agree with Aaron that I see it as being unlikely, but you never want to call anybody out this early. And we got two more rigs that we got to deal with here shortly. But
Josh, is it bad that all I can think about is it's a darn shame if we lose Rebecca to the sport? Is that bad? Because that's really what I just keep thinking about. Is like, wow, so great to see great athletes in our sport.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Rebecca was she was almost an enigma, right? Coming in, what was it? West Virginia was sort of her coming out party.
Right.
I know she had a couple races before that, but we saw her just throw down and shock the world, right? Upset some brackets or some predictions that folks were making. And she's one of those athletes that is well respected, is amazing at what she does, and incredibly intelligent. And of course, moving on to the medical field. So just to catch up here, Mr. Tan with more MYRs. I've already forgot what that stands for. Malaysian.
Ring it, Josh. Ring it.
Ringets. I was going to say tingets, but they're ringets. He would like a sticker, sir, and he covers your shipping. Michael Robertson calling out one Scott Knowles. I'm going to still call him Scott the Fane Knowles, but throwing down $5 there. And then Justin Rose, big fan of the show, contributing to the official Matt B. Davis AirPods Fund. Hashtag cut the cord. I'm on board with that, but Boomer Davis himself is anti-technology and does not think that AirPods.
When this race is over, I'm going to show you a beautiful shot of this cord just dangling beautifully. It sounds amazing, right? It sounds great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Every
Can we
day.
get a shot? Hang on a sec. Can we get a shot of these super comfy pants?
Yeah, we'd totally love to take a look at some comfy pants as we see Rebecca.
Can we get a shot of these comfy pants right here? Those look super comfy. I totally want a pair like that. Amazing. Thank you so much.
This is the kind
I
of
think it's
content you guys tune in here for, folks.
Listen, they thought, oh, the production value's up. We got gimbals. Like, Davis isn't going to be messing around anymore. Are you kidding me? This is what you're going to get with us.
We got Woodsy out there stretching his legs.
So Aaron says these are harder than Spartan rigs. I would agree. That rope is tricky. They're making it look easy, but that's a tricky undercarriage. Yeah, Josh?
I don't know if undercarriage is the word that I would use to describe it, but I would say that these rigs afford you some more grip security in the rings and the rope. But I'm comparing these rigs to something like Twister, right? I think Twister is a little more intense on the grip as we wait for Rebecca to come up to the second rig here for a third lap. But
I got a Robert Killian sighting.
Rebecca, pure cruise control mode. And Robert Killian just taking in some strides on the beach. Aaron calling out Woodsy being a supportive friend. Everybody should have a friend like Woodsy.
How you doing?
Good, man.
Good, man.
Yeah, we were at dinner last night. These guys all cheer for each other. They're competitors on the course, and they're all pretty friendly off the course.
That's what we love about this sport. At the end of the day, you've got to line up shoulder to shoulder with them right next to each other, and you got to respect the quality of athlete that we have in our sport. So
I'm going to go ahead and head down to the final rig here, Josh. So I'll see him coming towards me.
So Lindsay's heading out of the bucket. I'm going to go ahead and say the lead is opened up to probably at least 90 seconds to 2 minutes as Rebecca's cruising down to the final obstacle gauntlet here. Aaron Newell calling out. Both ladies have tape on the back of their knees from that rope traverse on the Kempson rig. So as you saw, when they jump out to that first traverse, the first thing they do is throw both their knees on there to turn themselves around. And if you've ever been bit by rope with a rope climb or a rope obstacle, you know why. They've got tape on their knees today. So we see Rebecca coming through rig number 2, excuse me, just as smooth and as simple as the other 2 times this morning. So she completes that and heads on to the Thor's pull. A couple quick pulls. Matt, are you heading over to?
I am standing here right now waiting for her to come to us.
With one Javier there.
I'm going to go ahead and I don't want to make everybody dizzy. I was going to jog, but I'm not going to. There's Ryan Woods, everybody. I mean, Ryan Atkins. Ryan Atkins, pre-soaked. Got the pre-soak going.
Got the pre-soak on. Well, Rebecca will be coming into this final rig here in just a second.
And then we'll let Lindsay finish. Then we'll try to get a word with both.
Let's watch Rebecca take down this final rig. Going one-handed, not even needing to do hand over hand for security. Slow and smooth, a transition with each swing back and forth. Taps the final bell.
And there we go, $5,000. Rebecca Hammond, Battle of the Beach. Love it.
What a performance by Rebecca Hammond. Just smooth the whole time, cruising along, speed, efficiency on obstacles. One might say the total package when it comes to Hildervat's course design here.
See if she's going to do the head dunk, Josh.
So as we follow Lindsay in here, Lindsay coming up to the final rig, the second to last rig, rather.
You're not.
Veronica from the Discord saying Becca did an amazing job. Still love Lindsay. She can do no wrong. I think we're all on the same page there.
Now what?
Lindsay threw that second rig for a third and final time today, heading over to Thor's Pull. Alfonso asks, how do we check the predictions we made? What's the website? Yancey Camp is the website, but I don't believe there's a way to view the predictions you've already made, but you will see the results, Mr. Jack Bauer. I was calling on him this morning for some stats. I know he's West Coast time, so he might not have been awake. But we see Lindsay coming in for the final section of the course, coming up on the final rig. That heads over there.
We've got a lot of the pros congratulating Lindsay Faye over there. They'll all be joined at the finish line for a big celebration. Just want to thank everybody, 362 of you right now, all over the world, including Malaysia. So stoked you guys are with us today.
Super excited, and stay tuned here as the men are coming up next.
Immediately following this, there's probably a short break, and we're going to go right with the men. Is that correct, race director Dan? Going with the men right after this?
Yes.
Confirmed.
There you go, Lindsay! Come on! There you go!
And she's through. Love the support.
She just said it's over. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Pineapple favorite. Good job. Under 30. Take a moment. Crushed it.
You also go get a good.
Oh, we do see Nicole there in the background.
Yeah, you crushed it.
We could do like a photo finish. I screwed them up last. Like I screwed up the first one and then back to one.
Josh, do we have a time comparison on yesterday? Was this on how does this compare to the previous rounds?
Admittedly, I wasn't keeping the whole time, so I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, it started at 9:05 and it's 9:34. But we can ask the timing people actually shortly.
Yeah. So pretty similar time-wise. I know that they were in the high 20s yesterday for the finish times.
Dude, always got to re-strategize. Maybe like
Brennan Calvert. That's what I was thinking. Crutches on sand. That's a struggle, but that's the kind of human Nicole is, right? She'll be out there to support, even if she had to scoot out there on her butt, not able to walk.
I think it went better than it was.
Is that what we expected?
I think everybody expected that. I did try. I'm just obviously not as in shape right now.
Well, did you get a little boo-boo right there?
That was actually Friday. Like practicing the obstacles. I don't even know how I did it. It didn't hurt or anything. It just looks bad. But I got a hand. This is a week I've got up in Canada. No rock climbing gyms open. But I was determined to do the last obstacle properly and not chicken wing, which I did.
Well, let's talk about that. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with getting through the way you need to get through?
I think the last two races, it was just there's nobody on my tail and it was safe. Whereas like this race for the last lap, well, the whole race really, I was just like, this is my last time racing out here. I got nothing tomorrow, and I really want to use the opportunity to practice the obstacles, which I obviously need right now. So, so that's mostly what I worked on all race. So, I think I'm not using my legs. It's one of the main problems. Like they're just dead weight. So I'll get it back, but I need some practice.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. See if we can get a shot maybe with Ryan before his race. Did you got a second, Ryan, before you race today? How's it going? What's the pre-soak plan?
Stay as wet as possible, as long as possible. Secret weapon.
We do too dry. I think I'm not.
On a scale of 1 to full send, how hard are we going to go out lap 1?
I don't know. I guess that's up to this guy.
So you're going to let him set it?
It's like my arms.
I don't think I have much choice.
Does that?
I don't know if you noticed, but I like a steady kind of
I
guy.
do notice that about you. That seems to be the winning strategy for one Ryan Atkins.
So, it plays out well.
All right, we'll talk to you afterwards. Win, lose, or draw, eh?
Yeah.
All right, what do you think, Josh?
I can't tell if he's being serious or if this is a mind game, Matt. Did you hear him say, well, the pace is up to him? I can't fathom. Now, I'm not the kind of athlete that would ever be in a position to be in front of Ryan Atkins, except for the sprint off the line at the New Jersey Ultra. I can't fathom having Ryan Atkins behind you and maintaining composure.
But see, this is why I find Veejay. Now listen, I would love to hear from Brock or some other elite athletes about this, but that's why I find Veejay. It would F with him if he was in the lead. Like, what's going on here? Do you know what I'm saying? So
right.
that's the chess. But listen, again, these guys know their bodies, they know themselves. I'd love to talk to maybe Woods about that. Let's talk to Woods about that. Woods, can we get a word with you, sir? I want to get Woods' opinion on this. Ryan Woods, we're live here. Hildervat, can you come here, please? Veejay, you can't hear this though. This is we're going to talk about these two guys.
Hey guys, they're right there. They can hear us.
Let's go over here.
Oh, really? It's got to be a secret.
Really top secret stuff.
I'm trying to talk. We're going to talk race strategy. All right. So
I'm not racing.
I know you're not, but this is why. So Veejay says.
Why are you whispering?
Because he's right there.
It's a live feed, right?
If you were Veejay, what would you think about letting Atkins be ahead and kind of mess with him rather than like, oh, Veejay's going to go out fast and I'm going to have to pass him later? Because that's usually what Atkins does. So what if you were Veejay and you slow down at the beginning? What do you think?
Pace yourself, you mean? Yeah, I mean, that sometimes works. He'd have more energy left. I don't know. I mean, everyone's got their race strategies, so I would expect both of them are going to go out hard. Atkins doesn't like to go out easy either, so.
But he does, though. Everybody knows he finishes strong.
And he goes out hard. He'll take. I wouldn't be surprised if Atkins is leading for the first set of obstacles.
But okay, just the first set.
I mean, they're going to go out hard. They're going to be racing early. So Atkins doesn't like to give ground to anybody.
Okay. Do you want to give anybody an update on last night's Karen? Do you want to hear the Jacksonville Karen update?
Oh, I don't.
Okay. Sorry, that's confidential, everybody.
I got Karen.
Woods got Karen. Hashtag Woods got Karen. All right, Woodsy, maybe you can hang with us. Now, you'll want to run with them, right? You want to hang with us, do some commentary during the race?
I think I'll be able to run with them.
Okay, then stay with me. We'll be able to watch through the little viewfinder. Okay. All right, bye. Josh,
Woodsy
back to
can't be
you.
bothered, Matt.
Josh, back to you.
Thanks for that, Matt.
How about we get Killian's opinion on it?
Let's do it.
Killian.
Yep.
What's a winning strategy for Veejay right now?
I mean, it's hard because I don't know how he feels from yesterday. I think if he goes out and breaks that gap or creates that gap and breaks Atkins, I think that's probably the smart move.
But isn't that what everybody
in Tahoe, right? Because I got enough of a lead to where he can't come back.
That's too big, but that's 13 hours or whatever.
It's still a shorter race. It's comparative. 10 seconds here equals like.
He's just such a strong finisher. I just feel like he should.
And I know Veejay is stressing about the heat, so he's definitely got to stay cold. Make sure he's getting water on him. I don't know, but just judging by yesterday, looking at the race, I mean, he's faster on the obstacles and faster on the running, so that should just equal a win. But you never know.
Who would you bet on, Robert Killian? Would you be willing to bet money?
Yeah, I'd bet on Veejay. Yeah, maybe that's a little altitude advantage, a little bit more red blood cell in him, carrying more oxygen.
You guys started talking about your show.
I think he's got more drive, Atkins has won a lot of events. But at the same time, Atkins doesn't want to get second again. He's finished second a lot.
Atkins is a killer.
He is, dude. He'll come. I mean, I'm sure his face on the third lap is going to be like determination, pure determination. It's going to be exciting.
All right, thanks, buddy.
See you guys.
Well, I think just going by the chat, lots of people expecting Veejay in the first position at the end of this lap, and lots of comments about how the only way Atkins wins is by Veejay messing up. And I mean, if you've ever seen Atkins race, he'll capitalize whether you mess up or not. And I expect, if I'm taking a guess, if you want my 2 cents, and if you're tuning in, I hope you do. I'm guessing we see Veejay lead through 2/3 of the race, and then I think we see Atkins kind of push the pedal down that third and final lap. But again, like we saw with Rebecca, I think the big piece will be is Veejay's obstacle proficiency going to put him in a position where he continues to maintain a lead that Atkins can't chip away at. Peter Daba, you can pressure someone into messing up. Just saying. That's right. Like I said, if you have Atkins behind you and you've got a 5-second lead coming into a rig, the chance that you flinch can be high. But again, athletes like Veejay perform no matter what. So as we're just waiting on the men's start. Super secret strategy they're discussing here that we're not privy to at the moment. Alfonso asking, what happens if they fail anything? It is mandatory obstacle completion, Alfonso, which means that you can simply restart the obstacle. There are no penalties. The axe throw, which was originally in, was the only obstacle that would have had a penalty, but is not in the race for the pros. So we will not see any penalties here. They'll just simply retry the obstacle. Jonathan Crawford calling out, Veejay definitely has better top-end speed. I think in such a short course, he'll be able to sustain it long enough to take the W. And I certainly agree, Jonathan. I think of the NORAM 3K and how he was able to perform.
We got an update, Josh.
Hit us.
We got a camera switch. We've got John on Nick's camera for now. John on Nick's camera. And we're not sure they're going to be able to. Holy shoot, they're off. I'm not sure they're going to be able to stay on them the entire time. It's happening fast and furious here. I might have to. No, I'm going to move over here. Hang on, Josh. Hang on.
So these men are off, and they're neck and neck into the first obstacle. Going full send off the top of the cargo net as they jump down. And we've got them coming into Kempson's first rig here. So Veejay, this is where we see the prowess, right? One swing, ropes to rings, but they're through it almost identical. Atkins positions himself a stride or two behind as these two are coming up on the rope climb. And as they complete the rope climb, let me just take a second and thank one Mr. Leon Kofed, who we've had the pleasure of watching race this year and now recovering from an injury, but looks to be on the mend and more mobile than ever, which is great to see. Leon with a donation saying, thanks for the coverage, being awesomely supportive people, doubling this when and if Jones takes the win. Appreciate you, man, and all the support. And the men are out on their first leg. Aaron Colleran, $5 donation. Most exciting thing since 2019. Thank you, Aaron. We got the men out on the running section of the course. As you can probably imagine, two of the fastest athletes in the sport, if not the fastest athletes in the sport. It's hard to find rabbits that may keep up with them.
Well, especially after running with the women for
right.
30 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll have them coming into the bucket. We'll have them coming out of the bucket. We'll catch them back on the obstacles here. So if we don't have them running like we had the women, we'll just fill the time. And also running. So Mike Garcia, who ran with the men and the women through, what is that, 6 laps, 8 laps, over the course of 2 races plus his own race. So yeah, he's hurting. he's putting in some work this weekend, but I know he's a big fan of Endure Elite, so hopefully he's got some in the tank ready to go.
Aaron Newell appears to be firing bullets into the chat.
Aaron and Richard Diaz butting heads in the chat in the most respectful way, gentlemen. I appreciate the passion and the conversation.
Because if you can't fight on Facebook or Instagram, come to the ORM YouTube live comments.
Correct. So again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Almost 400 of you tuning in for the men's final. Jacksonville Beach for Hildervat. And if you didn't get a chance to see, Hildervat is going to have another event this year in June in St. Cloud, Florida. So if you enjoy watching, you're in the area, or you want to get to a Hildervat event, you'll have a chance in just a few weeks. As we've got Veejay coming into the bucket carry for lap number 1. Running around the buckets.
Sorry, guys. Having issues with the comments there.
So a short bucket carry for the men, like was called out earlier in the comments, may not be enough to really separate yourself or gain. But Toby weighing in. Toby, who do you got in this one? He doesn't want to answer. So
Josh.
just a couple second lead for Veejay over Atkins as he tosses his bucket aside and heads back towards the obstacles. Yes, sir.
Josh, would you like to see more of this style if Spartan were to do it, like this cross style? Would you like to see more of this in the sport? Short course, multiple loops?
Yeah, I think, and I've said this before on the podcast and when we've talked about it, I think for me, the most exciting event in our sport is NORAM and OCRWC's short course. I don't think there's a better experience in terms of excitement, viewership. I think it's the best experience that you can get. And I think the athletes love it. I know there are some long distance specialists out there, but I think if I'm watching an event and I'm producing an event, I think the short course is the event that I would definitely want to see.
Yeah, I think 3 loops. I don't know, something about more obstacles and only 2 loops, or a slightly longer course and only 2 loops. Something about that. It just so it doesn't get too boring, right?
Yeah, no, I think, and Brenna says, why does it have to be Spartan? It could be Savage as well. And I completely agree. Give me a short course Savage setup, right? And I think amazing, right? Perfect obstacle experience, great distance, and then short and fast with head-to-head competitors, right? I think
if you can see, sorry, and if you can see, Josh, I know there's not a ton of people out here, but there's no one here, right? And everyone is where the action is. And when they come back, they'll follow them obstacle to obstacle. So this magic word, spectator friendly, that we all want and love, like it's we're watching it in person. It's making me a bigger fan of it. Like, yeah, people love to do this because even if you're not fast, even if you're with your kids, you can kind of walk over to the next obstacles when they turn around, and you know what I mean. You don't have to be rabbits.
So as we wait for them to come back from the running section, also fighting in the chat, Scott the Fade Knowles.
Veejay coming into the gauntlet.
So we got Veejay coming back here. So Veejay cruising. We'll get some timing on this as he just goes, as they say, full send, jumps right out, 3 handholds through that obstacle, grabbing his hand there for a second. Wonder if maybe he tore a callus.
I counted 10 seconds, Josh, on starting rig number 2.
So 10 seconds, a couple quick pulls of the hoist, and he's through. We got Atkins right behind him, coming into the hoist as well. So well within sight through lap number 1. Second time he's grabbed his hand. I wonder if he's got a callus or he's tearing something off there.
Fargo wall. Here comes Atkins. Tuck and roll. Veejay is down and out to his second lap.
As you heard from the commentator on site, down on his second lap. Does look like it's about a 10-second difference.
Yep, I got that too.
12 seconds.
Zach asking, what's the running distance per lap? Unofficially, I would say a mile. I don't know the exact distance because the total course is 3 miles, and it includes just a little bit of added running after the 3rd lap. So we have Veejay coming into Kempson Designs rig for his 2nd lap. As he's through, he takes a quick look back.
I want to hear from Aaron Newell. What do the seconds need to be for Ryan to stay in? What's the margin? Is it 10 seconds? Is it 8? What's the margin Atkins needs to stay in by the start of lap 3 to make this happen?
It is still about a 10 to 12 second difference for them as they head out to the rope climb here. Veejay's taken every opportunity he can on the obstacles to gain some time. You see him jumping off of the rope climb. You see him going, jumping 4, those extra handholds. Atkins 2, right? Just jumping off afterwards. Aaron Newell saying 20 seconds is the magic number for Veejay to lead by.
Wow, that's more than I thought. I thought he would say 10 to 12. That's a lot. But he knows. Aaron, I think, knows this better than I do.
As we see Atkins hosing himself down. Josh Devane, or Devaney, with a $20 donation. Appreciate it. We've hit the 400 viewer mark for this one. Exciting to have everybody here watching the men's final at Hildervat. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate all the hard work.
Hey, let us know in the comments. Are you watching at your laptop? Are you watching on your big screen? I'd love to know who's watching where. I love when I see screenshots of watching on the big screen, and then you tag us and we'll share it. Do that stuff. We love it.
Do that stuff. Riker, what do you have for a pace on Veejay currently?
It's not Riker anymore, I don't think.
Oh, it's not Riker. You're right.
No, I'm back. I'm back.
He's back.
Back from the dead again. We're going sub 520 pace.
Wow.
TV for viewing, laptop for comments, double screening it, Matthew. I love it.
So Veejay running 520. Atkins looks like he's pushing too.
Josh, we got another one coming from the other side of the world.
Or are we on the other side of the world, Matt? That's the question.
Josh, is it art just because we hang it on the wall?
Well, appreciate everybody tuning in from whatever device you're on. Brent Hastert saying, on my cell phone with her friend Lucas on the way back from High Rocks. There was a High Rocks race this weekend in Austin.
Brent won that thing.
Yeah, Brent winner. Beat everyone. Undefeated.
Crushing. As we see Veejay picking up his bucket for lap number 2. Tyler's on his cell phone on his long run. Love that. Carl also. TV to watch. Phone for the comments.
Now we're on lap 2, Hosick. We're on lap 2. Bucket carry lap 2, Hosick.
Ian Hosick, the Mad Wizard, tuning in. As you see Veejay finishing up his bucket right as Ryan Atkins heads out on the bucket.
Guys, we're at 420 viewers. I think you know what that means.
I don't know what that means, Matt. Explain it to me.
Long break.
Gotcha. We don't do that in New Hampshire. It's live free or die here, except for that.
Sorry, Josh.
Peter Dabos with a 90% chance that Veejay wins this. Flat short course really rewards his speed. I don't know where you get your statistics from.
Is this our advanced next-gen stats where it moves as the race goes on?
That's Amazon Web Stats coming in with the 90% chance that he wins. Jake's watching it on TV and phone for comments. I love this. Screens everywhere, folks.
Me too, Josh. Why can't we do this every weekend, Josh?
Well, I have obligations, Matt.
Well, I guess when I say we, I mean all of us, the OCR community.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Although I do wish I could spend time with you every weekend.
Yeah, I think we'd probably resent each other after a certain amount of time, though.
Well, that's true. Faye Morgan.
Just a good big brother, little brother relationship.
My old buddy, Faye Morgan, pretending to film my kid's soccer game and watching from my cell. Yes! Ignoring the kids for the win.
Hey, listen, I can't think of anything more exciting, and I'm lathering this with sarcasm, than a kid's soccer game. Let's just shout out a couple people here. Venga CBD with a massive donation to the stream, $49.99. Appreciate you. Appreciate Venga CBD. Love the support you guys have for the athletes and the sport. Brent George with a $10 donation. Brent, thanks so much for tuning in. Super happy to have you guys here. The over 420 of you watching Hildervat's Pro Men's Finals as we see Veejay Jones coming into the obstacle gauntlet on his second lap. And we've got behind him Ryan Atkins also cruising along. And we're going to see what the lead has become, if it's grown, if it's depleted, as we come into the rig here in just a couple moments. Somebody still have their blinker on there, Matt? What's going on? Veejay going full jump right to the bar, to the net, to the second bar. 3 touches on that obstacle. And that's where he's making up the time, right? The running, obviously, aside, he's putting down a pace.
Here comes our leader. Still, Veejay.
But we're seeing Atkins come in.
Increase.
Veejay put down some real speed on that lap because he's got
Over 20 seconds, Josh.
over
And I
20
got-
seconds.
And I got Veejay here if you want, or you can stay on Atkins at the rig. Up to you.
We'll watch Atkins complete this rig.
He's cruising.
As he gets through the hoist. You heard it here first. Aaron Newell calls it,
Setting up for his final lap.
saying this race is over? Question mark? We will see.
Well, Atkins, they're crossing each other here, so I don't know if that's encouraging to Atkins or not, but I'm going to think it's not. We will have team coverage next. We'll hop off though, Josh. Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll take a quick brunch break. Come back with team coverage. Yeah.
Team coverage is what, at 11 o'clock?
Yes, sir. We got to do the draft. Maybe I'll do some stories on the draft. Maybe we'll go live. Yeah, let's just go live at 11. Josh.
Lap, right?
Dustin with the donation of $5 and the Veejay by 35 seconds when it's all said and done. Dr. Stephen Best with a $10 donation. Thanks again for the coverage, gents. Well, thank you for tuning in, sir. Appreciate you, my friend. As they head out on third and final, lap number 3. And this is where the race is either won or lost. As we have Veejay completing his rope climb. He was through Kempson's rig without too much of an issue. Atkins goes for the armpit grip on that horizontal rope there, the hanging rope. A little bit different technique than what we've seen from the other athletes that are out there, but Veejay is laying it down in terms of pace and speed, so we have Veejay running out to the bucket. And Veejay did say yesterday that his goal was to open up a lead as much as he can and to simply hold on, as he put it. But not only is he holding on, he's building on that lead with every step here as he runs out to the bucket for his third and final loop. Leon saying, we need this coverage at the OCRWC, Josh and Matt B. Davis.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, right?
If Veejay is
Josh,
not
this
slow
is-
down at any of these laps, he's the same pace.
with
He's really. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. Josh, would it be appropriate to point out how many second place finishes in championship races that Ryan Woods has?
Ryan Woods?
Ryan Atkins.
No, it would not be appropriate. But as broadcasters, it is our duty.
Yeah, Ryan Atkins. Getting some love here from folks on the beach. Ryan Atkins has finished second in the Spartan World Championships. I almost called it Tahoe, but it's Killington and Tahoe and wherever it's been. I want to say 4. It could be 5 if Peter wants to correct me on that. OCR World Championships, I feel like he's finished second in the long and the short multiple times. Great champion, Ryan Atkins, but also finished second a lot.
Well, just by looking at it, and again, being the amateur athlete I am, as we see Atkins glance at his watch, Veejay looking to be working hard, but as Riker said, he was keeping a steady pace through all of those laps. Atkins looks a little more casual in his pace at the moment. I'd say casual. He's still probably putting down less than 6-minute miles here. As we see our rabbits running barefoot with Ryan Atkins. I mean, just amazing. So we got Veejay into the third and final bucket carry. Div noting, kind of wild to see Lindsay and Ryan getting smoked. I don't know if I would agree on the same terms.
He's so
Short
fast.
courses are
Wow.
Lots of good chat. Yeah. Trying to keep up with all the chat, trying to keep up with the feed. There's a ton going on. I love this. So as Veejay heads back out from his bucket, he's going to cross paths with Ryan Atkins. And is this lead too large for Atkins to make up? Some may say yes. Some may say let's wait and see. The bucket grab there with a little bit of renewed vigor. He grabs that and he went for it. So Richard Diaz saying he's going to go to brunch and put a fork in this because we all know that if we walked away from the women's race in the semifinal yesterday, it ended we predicted.
Exactly. Good point, Josh.
But Aaron calling out, great comment and great note here, right? Veejay's 3 months into his OCR season, Atkins 1 week into it with only a Savage race under his belt before this. And as noted earlier in the chat, saying that he is training for a 200-mile bike race. We see Veejay looking at his hands there.
I got to say, Bracken, I think, brought this up in the podcast recently. There's always something, right? Hasn't raced in a long time, raced too much, nagging this, nagging that. You show up at the start line, you're there to race. Everything goes out the window. I appreciate Aaron looking out for his buddy Atkins, but it's if he had won, that wouldn't have come up. No disrespect, but that's just kind of right. It's always, oh, he raced too much, he's worn out. Oh, he hasn't raced enough, he's rusty. They say anything with pro teams in the basketball playoffs, right?
I don't know. You won't find me watching basketball playoffs, Matt.
Well, Josh, usually what happens is a team does really well. They get to sit, they get a bye, right? They get to sit around for a few days. And
right.
If they win, they were too rusty. And if they you know what I'm saying. I've made my points.
Yeah. Yep. It looks to be.
How about Atkins just had a better race today? Veejay just had a better race today. I'll go with that. If they do it again tomorrow, maybe it's different. But today, Veejay has a better race.
Right. Well, Atkins definitely is putting in the work here on this third and final lap.
Veejay's coming in through the Gauntlet.
Obstacle activist agreeing with MBD. We've had our disagreements in the past, obstacle advocates, but boom, you know what time it is.
Everything goes out the window on race day. Veejay through the rig with the same proficiency that we've seen each lap.
I would love to look at these times compared to yesterday, Josh, with the men and the women.
I think it's going to be a speedy one today. So we're going to have Matt head over to the final rig as we see Atkins coming in. It looks to be about a 35 to 45 second differential here in this final section. As we got Matthew Davis doing a little sprint.
All right, we have Ryan approaching the second rig.
So we got a good distance as Veejay comes in here for the final obstacle. And this is the one that they take slow and smooth. He makes sure he's got every grip before he transfers. Takes a second, secures that grip, takes the extra swing, rings the bell, gives a shout to the crowd. And it's through the finish line.
Gotta say, I like the confidence of this young man. I really do.
Well, I mean, we've seen it from him before, right? We've seen him jump and tap the finish lines. We've seen him raise his hands over the fire jump as he finishes races. But Terry Smith sums it up. Wow. What a performance by Veejay today. And the short course, I think we know, lends very well to Veejay's strengths. Leon, true to his word, take my Danish money. Thank you for the good coverage.
Can you switch to me real quick?
I'm switching over to one happy Davis.
Veejay, could you say that? Could you say that again, Veejay?
Either he resigned or I broke him, which that means physically or mentally, but it was done. And I've never seen that happen before. People are telling me, like, you got to break him to win. And I'm like, I don't know if it's possible to break him. Like, how do you do that to a fucking robot? But I guess my fitness is better than I thought.
Thank you,
Check out that fitness.
Great, Veejay. Great job, guys. Where you going next, man?
See if you can get it. Can you hop off that and get a picture maybe of these two? Like while they're sitting here. We'll help it pull in the way. Awesome. You're awesome.
So cool.
Ian's saying he just outran him. And what a performance by Veejay, right? From the start, set the pace, put the gap out there, the 10 to 15 second gap that we saw on the first lap into the second lap, and then it just continued to build after that.
Veejay, we'll go first.
Peter saying, now if they do this race again in 10 minutes, Atkins for the win.
I left my shirt in the timing. I'll take
You're wearing your shirt.
It's got sand on it.
I don't know. I just thought maybe you're so race tired. Like my glasses are on my head, and I look for my glasses.
I looked for my phone while talking on my phone.
What was the time?
22:15.
22:15. How's that compare to yesterday?
Faster.
I finished in 24:08 in the first one, and then in the second one I did like 23:04. So we dropped another 50 seconds or so.
Spartan world champion Robert Killian said faster when I said, well, compared to yesterday.
I said that too. Just saying.
That hurt, dude.
James Schisler with the hot take. Veejay a one-trick short course pony.
All right, well, your
James,
first Hildervat experiences in the books. So
let's talk later this year.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great obstacles, great environment. Yeah, they put on a really good course.
talk to us about Veejay. You're obviously a competitor, great short course racer. You're of course the best long course racer in the world. You both are good at all of it, but talk a bit about him.
Yeah, Veejay had wheels out there today. He was good in the obstacles, good in the running, and I mean, I guess average speed wins races. He had a good average speed.
Okay, so now you didn't get the $5,000. You did make a pretty penny today, and you got any big plans for it?
Just buy some dog food.
Feed Sunzel?
Yeah, and some gas to get home.
And of course, we have a relay coming up. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited for the relay. It's gonna be like no pressure, just fun.
Any recommendations on who should pick? Should have picked you over Veejay now? You saved some in the tank for this race. Maybe he used it all.
I don't know. I think on this, just the obstacle section, we'd be very similar to me. So I think it'll come down to who the other participants on the team.
Well, any final thoughts about this race weekend as a whole?
No, I don't know when it's happening again, but I'd say come on down and do it if you have a chance.
Hey, thanks a lot, Ryan. Great job. Congratulations, and see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for putting this on.
All right, Josh. Let's you want to recap, and we'll take a break and come back for the relay. Josh may have stepped away. Josh may have taken a break while I'm doing this.
No, it was a classic rookie move. I made it through 2 days of broadcasting and finally forgot to unmute myself.
Oh, good job, buddy. All right, would you like to recap, and then we'll get ready. We'll take a break. We'll come back on, guys. Tell your friends. Hop on the link here. Probably a couple minutes before 11.
All right. Well, let's recap it. So we saw from the women, Lindsey Webster and Rebecca Hammond, and straight from the get-go, Rebecca Hammond takes the lead, maintains the lead, builds on the lead, and takes home the victory for the women and the $5,000 payday. Again, Rebecca Hammond, a true student of the sport, somebody that we hope we keep getting to see year in and year out. And then for the men, you just saw it. Veejay Jones calls it at the finish line, says he either resigns or he broke him. And we're hoping Matt gets us a little more info on which that was, maybe in the podcast later on. But you saw it here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. At one point, we had well over 400 of you watching live. So super psyched to have you here. Join us a little later this morning, just before 11. We'll kick the live stream back off, and we'll get the team relay. When we do the introductions, we'll give you a rundown on the format, the team picks. Tune into Obstacle Racing Media's Instagram for all of that. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll catch you here in just a little bit.